evening, everybody. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I know there's some concern, but before we get started, I just want to let everybody know that this meeting will be live streamed right now. It will also be videotaped so that it can be shown later on, so that when I get 65 emails tomorrow asking me what went on in the meeting, I can direct them to the TV and they can watch it on our channel cable station that we have. It's just an added feature that we have because I know everybody can't make it here this evening. So I just want to introduce our council, and then I'm going to turn it over to the chief, and we will answer some. He's going to explain a few things, and we'll get into this. So first off, we have Deputy Mayor David Fisher. We have Councilman Rob Achera, and our newest councilwoman, Geeta Kaplan. So we're out here today. Unfortunately, Councilwoman Terry couldn't make it. Her father had a rather serious operation yesterday, and he's doing a lot better, but she's got to tend to Dad, and we understand that. So we understand there's a lot of concerns with the robberies that have been going on within our town, within our county, throughout the state of New Jersey. We're fully aware of everything. The chief and I have been at 2 other meetings on the east side of town. We attended one back in March. We attended one back in August in Deal. It was a joint between multiple towns. We also had Senator Gopal. Senator Gopal's office is back here right now. That's also representative of my former deputy mayor, Assemblywomen Peter Paul and Assemblywoman Donlin. So their office is represented here as well. We just want to let you know that the state is fully engaged in this, and they are looking to make some positive changes to stop this. The chief has kept us all informed of everything that's going on in town as it relates to these robberies. He's going to explain what's been going on, what they've done up to this point, and what the plans are moving into the future. I just want to preface this by saying that I feel personally, and I'm not speaking for the council, but we have one of the best police departments in the state of New Jersey. We have by far the men and women that represent this municipality that protect us are phenomenal. And they are led by a really fantastic chief who has brought this department together. And his men and women work under him, and I have to say, Mike is not only the chief, but he's a friend of mine. I never have a problem getting any answers from him. He is accessible to all of us. He keeps us informed. We get monthly reports. So we're very in tune with what's going on, and we're also concerned about what's going on. David and I both live up in Wayside. So, we're on the other side of Deal, where they've had several car robberies as well. So we're affected by what you're seeing up here in Wayside. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to Mike. Mike's going to give you some facts and figures, and he will introduce his officers, and, we'll open it up for questions and answers. So go ahead, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Mike Sartino. I'm the Chief of Police in Ocean Township. I've been a lifelong resident for 48 years. I've been a police officer for 28, and I've been chief for just over 2. I'll get into my side of things first. I'm going to introduce Detective Michael Legg and Detective Zach Ryan. They're going to do a quick PowerPoint on crime prevention. We'll do that, and then I'll let them go back to work, and then I'll stay back and I'll go through my stuff. So if you want to direct your attention to the screen, they'll go through their presentation, and what we're going to do is we're going to prepare this, put it out to a few folks. We'll put it on our website. We'll push it out. I know there's a few people that kind of contacted us to organize this meeting tonight. We had a lot of different avenues. People were reaching out to us, so bring everybody together. Like the mayor said, it's recorded and live streamed, and we will put this on our website. We can email it to you so everybody has the information. All right?
Good evening, my name is Zach Ryan. I've been an officer here in Ocean Township for about 10 years now. I've been with the Detective Bureau for 3. Still background with the crime prevention stuff. I have received specialized training through New Jersey Office of Homeland Security, as well as the National Institute of Crime Prevention down in Florida. So my partner over here, Mike Legg.
How you doing? I'm Mike Legg. I also am a Wayside resident. I have children that attend schools. I have friends and families throughout the community. I thank you all for coming and taking interest and to learn about some things. We're going to try to teach you a few things to maybe prevent some of these things from happening. But I can tell you on behalf of myself and my department that we totally understand, especially me being, I live in Wayside, so I see what's going on. My neighbors, it's happened to, so I can just literally walk down the street if someone's trying to steal a car. So we're going to give you some information, and if you have any questions at any point, just let us know. But thank you all for coming, and we'll start here with the first slide.
Start when to call the police. The best time to call us is when it's actually happening. If you give time delay, we're already behind the game. 5 minutes if they're in a car, they could be miles down the road. When you're calling in reference to suspicious persons, vehicles, make sure to obtain good identifiers when you call us. For people, you want to get race, gender, hair color, clothing description, direction of travel, where were they last seen, and any other physical characteristics like clothing. Vehicles, you're looking for where are they at that moment, which way were they last seen going, or what street were they going towards, as well as vehicle type, whether it's an SUV, pickup truck, a sedan, make, model, color of the car, license plates, anything else that stands out to you. Also, when you're calling us, let us know why are they suspicious. You know these neighborhoods better than we ever can. You guys live there. So let us know. Hey, I know all my neighbors. I know the vehicles in my neighborhood. This car has been there for X amount of time, and none of my neighbors know why. They're parked in front of this person's house. We called them. They don't know what that car is doing there. Give us a little background as to why they are suspicious. And again, above all, let us do our job. Don't approach them yourselves. Let us go and make contact with them to investigate what's going on.
And also, a lot of times we'll find out things happen after the fact where a resident will be like, oh, I didn't want to bother the police, or I didn't think it was suspicious, but I will tell you to call us for everything. We have officers out there all the time. And what people don't realize is if something's going on, it's usually going to happen quick. It's not going to be something that's going to be an hour process where they're trying to do certain things to get in the house. They want to get in, they want to get out, they want to have the path of least resistance. They don't want confrontation. Usually when the confrontation starts, most times they run away. So if you do report it and we are on the way there and we might not make contact or locate the vehicle, a lot of times when the bad guys are leaving the area and they see the police responding to that area, that might be enough for them to say, hey, these people were on to us, let's not go back to that area. So report everything all the time, whether you think you're not bothering us, I can promise you that. All right, you're not bothering us, so just make sure that you're reporting everything, like you said, with the best description. Don't get yourself involved. I wouldn't even bother trying to run out and take pictures because people remember that stuff, they'll know that house, so we don't want anything further to happen. So just make sure you're the best witness as possible, report that information to the police, and then we'll go out there because there's cameras everywhere, so we can go to neighborhoods now where 10 years ago you'd be lucky to find a camera on a house. Everybody has Ring cameras now, everybody has cameras on their house, so those are the tools that we use to identify vehicles.
Just a little brief of when to call 911 versus our main 1800 number. 911 is utilized for emergency situations such as crimes, progresses, medical emergencies, fires. Please, if you don't already have it in your phone, please put our direct number in your phone. So it's as simple as going to your contacts and calling us. You're not looking for our number on Google or trying to think off the top of your head. It is a quick call. Contact our main number for crimes that occurred in the past or don't need us to be there right that second. And again, just please put that in your phone. It helps us get there as fast as possible.
And we're lucky here in Ocean to have our 911 center in headquarters, so that's good with communication-wise. If you're outside of town, you call a town that doesn't have a dispatch center or 911, then there's a time delay with the information getting, like, oh, he's turning right, he's turning left, and they have to go, that's the officer. But we have direct contact from our 911 center to our officers, so it's a real-time update. So the best information and the best descriptions are key to us.
So we're going to move into crime prevention specifically for vehicles. Please don't get complacent with this. Please understand that even though you're running to the grocery store for 2 minutes or you're just stopping home real quick to grab a sweatshirt or a jacket, that this is when these crimes are happening as well. They're just driving down streets. They're just looking for the opportunity to do it. So don't get in that complacency. A couple times we've had issues where people were unsure where their spare keys were. So please know where your spare key is and make sure that it's not in your vehicle. A lot of times with the valuables in your vehicle, please take them out. There are some groups that are looking around and just looking at cars and parking lots, looking to see what they can see, such as purses, wallets, anything. They conduct what we call smash and grabs, where they blow out the window and they just take the valuables. Please do not leave your keys or key fobs in your vehicle at any time for any reason. That is the biggest opportunity for these criminals, and that is what they are acting on most of the time. We've had numerous cases where people run into the nail salon, the bakery, Wawa. They leave their car on for 2 minutes. They're gone probably 45 seconds in the store. They come out and their car's gone. That's how fast they're coming. They're just jumping in and they're driving away. And again, always keep everything, even when it's in your garage, keep everything locked. Make sure your garage is locked as well.
In terms of these incidents with vehicles, they're referred to as a burglary. So a burglary is when a person enters a dwelling or a structure to commit a crime. So the car burglaries, there's also various types of car burglars, which the predominant one now are the high-end car thefts that we call them, where they're coming down here to Monmouth County or any area where it's wealthy and there's nice cars or whatever, those are the areas that are targeted. Those people are coming down to steal cars. There's also the people that are riding around on bikes or on foot during the night who are just looking to go in your car and get your loose change, whatever you have in there. I mean, those are occurring all the time, mainly during the summer too, when there's more foot traffic out. And then there's the ones, like Zach said, where they go to parks because they know people leave their purses in there, or gym parking lots. And those are the people that solely want to get your purse, take your credit cards, and go out and use them. And to touch upon more, if you just drive around, you'll see all the time people leave their cars running in parking lots to run into the store for a second for whatever reason. So we're affording those opportunities for the criminals to steal your car if you're making it that easy for whatever reason you don't want to turn your car off. Same thing even in your driveway. I'll back out of my driveway and forget something, and I'll pull back up my driveway and I'll run in my house real quick. And I'm not that fast, but I'll be in and out. But still, I always just turn my car off because I don't want to give anybody the opportunity to steal my car. So we have to make sure we're doing all these things to prevent those things from happening.
Give you a quick example. Over the summertime, we had a gentleman who, it's 4 or 5 a.m. He lives in Oakhurst, saw a suspicious car. They were car thieves looking for unlocked cars. Called it in. They left the area. We chased them away. 20 minutes later, he runs into the bagel place and leaves his car running. And guess what? His car was stolen. You just saw it 20 minutes ago. The laziness and the complacency is what. Don't be a victim of crime of opportunity. So he saw it just 20 minutes ago, and then he runs in to get a bagel, and his car is gone. And not only was his car, it was his luggage, his passport, because he was on his way to the airport. So, yes. So, please be very, very diligent and vigilant.
And if you couldn't tell, the word that we keep repeating, like the chief said, Mike said, and I've said numerous times, is opportunity. It's not giving them the opportunity to commit these crimes by not leaving your car running, not leaving your car unlocked, and just better protecting yourselves. All right. Again, to help us, if you were to become a victim of these crimes, please have a copy of the registration, license plate number, the insurance information, the vehicle identification number, VIN number, all that will be on the registration as well. So if any specific identifiers of your car, bumper stickers, any damage on your car, tell us all that as soon as you can. Even when you're on the phone with dispatch, if you're reporting that you were a victim of this type of crime, give them all that so we can get that information out as soon as possible. And again, another thing, and it used to be just high-end cars, but now most cars have some sort of tracking capabilities. Know what kind of capabilities your car has and be familiar with them. Whether it's, here's a couple examples, OnStar, Sirius Guardian, Uconnect. And if they do have those capabilities, keep them active. It's one of those things like insurance where you need to have it and you're glad that it's there when you have it, but you hate paying for it. So that's just something to keep back in your head. I know that some of these things cost money, but they help us tremendously in these investigations when we can just track back to a certain area. And we have contacts all over the state. We can start getting on the phone and calling people to try to find the car. Another idea is store an Apple AirTag inside the vehicle. Just hide it somewhere, whether it's in the trunk, by the spare tire, and it gives you a little bit longer time. Some of these criminals know where these trackers are in these cars. They know how to pull them. They know how to disable them. The hidden air tag gives you a couple extra hours. It does notify, if they have an iPhone, it will notify them that they are being tracked after a certain amount of time. I believe it's around 5 hours, but it gives you extra time because usually that tracker's pulled in what? Within 30 minutes?
What is that? What is an
An
AirTag?
AirTag, it's an Apple product where it's just a small disc and it connects to Apple devices that it's around to ping the exact location.
So the Apple tags are like mini GPS units.
Yep.
I don't think they're very expensive technology-wise, but the bad guys have also learned that if they see a car that they really want, one of the real high-end cars, there have been cases, not really here in Ocean that we've seen, but we've seen outside of Monmouth County, where they will put the, excuse me, the tag on your car, so they'll be able to track you, so they'll know where your car is at any time and maybe follow you around for that opportunity to steal your car. So just be mindful that if you ever get in your car, and sometimes the Apple phones will say there's an, they have the capabilities where if you're in your car, it'll say there's an air tag in the car. There's some
Yes.
technology with that.
That's-
You might look at your phone and
yeah.
think, I don't know what that means. If you ever see that on your phone, make sure you contact us.
Yeah.
Let us know. That means somebody might put a tag on your car. Like I said, we haven't really seen that too much yet, but as simple as we could track a car with one of those, they could do the same thing.
Like I
Where's
said,
the best place to put the AirTag?
just somewhere hidden. I mean, they're small.
It's literally
Gentleman
like a
back there
giant-
has one. You can see how small it is. I mean, I would say in the trunk,
Yeah, the
like
trunk
by a spare
probably does
tire,
that.
Yeah.
just something in like a compartment where it's not easily found.
Great to put on your keys too.
Keys, I've seen them on keys, wallets, you name it. People are putting them on it. Kids.
It's
What's that? You can put them in my kid's pocket. Here's my
Yeah.
key. My phone will tell me where it is. So let's say he pulls out of my pocket, it'll tell me that it's here. I'll be able to look.
People are putting them on their pants, they're like $35. You can
Yeah,
buy them in
they're
plastic
relatively
boxes.
inexpensive.
You can buy packs of
Yeah.
12 that are.
The only caveat is I believe you need to have an Apple phone, iPhone, for it to connect. All right, at this point we'll get into some stuff for homes. Lighting. Get good lights for your house. A big thing that's talked about in crime prevention is called natural surveillance. It increases the natural surveillance of your neighbors, any passerbys, us as we're driving through our residential patrols. As the house is lit, we can see better. Especially keep your access ways, your doors, your garage, your driveway, keep all that well lit so we can see. Another key principle is property maintenance. It's called the 2-foot, 6-foot rule. What that rule is, you don't want any low-lying shrubbery around your house higher than 2 feet. Give excessive area for concealment of a criminal. And you don't want any lower canopies of trees being under 6 feet. So it gives you about a 4-foot clear view of your entire property. Exterior cameras, we highly recommend exterior cameras. We love when we see residents with exterior cameras. They help us tremendously in investigations and they're a great deterrent. Fencing, we have seen instances where people are just going through unlocked fencing around the house. Please, if you have the fencing and you have the capability to lock it, lock it. Again, don't give them the opportunity. Again, alarm systems, great deterrent. We've had numerous times where people have tried to break into homes for the alarm to be set off and scare them away. We do recommend that you do have them for your windows, your doors, some motion sensors, and keep it activated when you're going to sleep, even when you're home, as long as you know nobody's coming in and out, or even when you know somebody's coming in, set it after they walk out the door. And another big thing, please, as you go back to your home today, look for the house number on your house or on the mailbox. Make sure it's easily visible for us to help us when we respond to your house. We need to be able to see the number to know where we're going.
Excuse me, and with your residents and the cameras, if you don't want to call a company to come install an expensive alarm system, the same thing, I'm not supporting any specific one, but I use Ring cameras. I literally plug it in. It's got a cord. You can put it wherever you want. You can set it for the motion alert. You can have it on your phone. They're great. They're cheap. All right. It just gives you a little bit of peace of mind that if you're working, you're not at home, you can dial that thing up and see what's going on at your house. And with garages, make sure your garage doors are closed. We drive around a lot at night time, and we'll see people that just leave their garage doors open. I know it happens. We're humans. We all make mistakes, just like we leave our cars unlocked. But if you have your car unlocked and even your garage door is closed, everybody keeps the garage door openers in their car. All they got to do is press the button and they have full access to your garage. Hopefully you would hear the garage going up. But also as another prevention, make sure you're locking the door from your garage into your house. So they can get into your garage and think they're going to go into your house, but then the door is locked. That's probably going to be the first time they go out. So, excuse me. They can take whatever they want in my garage. I'd probably be happy because it's full of junk. But just make sure you're locking that door. Every night I make sure I lock that door. And another thing is dogs. I don't know whether you're dog friendly or not. Dogs are great. I haven't had dogs. Well, I have now for probably about 15 years. But they'll tell you everything that's going on in your house. Sometimes it might be annoying, but on the flip side, they're going to alert you to something going on and probably going to yell at the dogs. They stop barking, but the dog's probably telling you something's going on. And a lot of times when people are trying to take your stuff or break in your house and they hear that dog bark, whether it's big or small, they're going to be like, I'm not going to that house. They don't want to deal with the dog. And like you said with the house numbers, a lot of times at nighttime when we're driving around to get where we need to be, we have the spotlights and lights, but your number's not visible. We want to be able to get there. I don't want to drive by your house because I can't see your numbers. So everyone just take note that you have the numbers lit, ready to go, lights on as many as you can, and the cameras are great because a lot of times I don't know if you've seen the videos of people that are committing these crimes, their faces are covered, they're wearing gloves. So what we do in accordance with the Auto Theft Task Force is we'll use pictures from everybody's houses and social media images to be able to identify these people.
Some extra tips and things to think about. Again, activate your alarms when both you're gone from your house and while you're home, especially while you're sleeping. It's just a good habit to get into because some of these things are happening overnight while people are sleeping in their house. The alarm has scared them off, I think, every time. When it comes to lighting, you can also switch it up a little bit. Use some motion sensor lighting to activate as they're walking around your property. A big thing is to make sure that all your windows and doors are shutting properly and locked properly. A couple times we have had incidences where people have gone through windows and the homeowner will tell us, oh, well, that window lock's been broke for a couple weeks now. Well, you never got around to fixing it, and that's, again, you gave them the opportunity. And we'll go back to what Mike said, don't leave any doors unlocked or garage door, even when you're home. These things are happening quick. So they just run in and run out as fast as they can. And again, like Mike said, that interior door from your garage to the main part of your residence, make sure that is locked as well. We have seen where they try to gain access to the garage, and then that door has been unlocked. So it's almost giving you that second layer of security. Back to lighting, keep everything well lit, especially during the overnight hours. Have it from dusk to dawn, just to increase that natural surveillance for your neighbors, for us. And again, just getting into good habits of making sure everything's locked before you go to bed. Even when you're just at your house, keep everything locked. These things are happening as well during the day. And just clicking that button. It's just clicking that button on the clear. That's how simple it is these days.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Sure, sir.
Actually, I want to say my wife has a great idea of just putting the biggest dog water bowl we can find out on the back deck, and maybe even a pair of size 13 boots.
Perfect.
No, really.
No, it is. And another good crime prevention tip is, I think it's coming up a little bit later in the slide, is put a beware of dog sign up. Even if you don't have a dog, just throw it up. Even if you don't have an alarm system, put up an alarm system sign. Put up a camera sign. I mean, those are all extra deterrents.
Like you said, just get into a routine. Every night before I go to bed, whatever time it is, I make sure that garage door is locked. I find my car keys, and I wake my neighbors up. I just hit and let it beep. I know that my car is locked, and I can sleep easy.
And again, just driving home the importance of keeping your car locked. If you have a fob inside your vehicle that opens your garage, which is, again, that can lead to your main residence, please make sure that your car is locked. No matter what time of day it is, just always, as you get out, create that habit, whether it's hitting the button on the door handle, hitting the button inside the car, or hitting it on the fob. Just make sure it is locked. And again, as we just said before, post some signs that help deter criminal activity, such as alarm signs, camera signs. I know you could buy just the ring signs, put it on a poster right in front of your house, alarm signs, the beware of dog, even if you don't have a dog. Another thing you do, talk to your neighbors. Become acquainted with one each other. Learn about each other. Learn what kind of cars that each of your neighbors has. It helps when those suspicious cars come around. It helps you notice them. It helps out with us. When you say, hey, I know my neighbor's cars. They have this type of car and this type of car. I call them. They don't know what this car is doing in front of their house. It helps us. And again, if there is an incident, you can pass that along to your neighbors as well so they can be on the lookout for stuff. Another idea is you can create neighborhood watch groups amongst your neighborhoods. With that, you would want to select a block, having to kind of head everything, and you could host meetings periodically. I know there's Colonial Terrace has one where every year they host a meeting on Zoom. It's as simple as that. You don't even have to leave your couch. Everyone just gets on the computer, logs on Zoom, and they discuss the neighborhood stuff.
Yeah, the group chats are great. I think it's a good way of meeting your neighbors and just putting information out there to know what's going on. Like, hey, I'm not going to be home, or I'm not going to be around me, if you're comfortable telling these people that. But you have to stay on top of it, because we noticed that a lot of times whatever the issue is a hot topic until it's not, and then everyone lets their guard down, and then it happens. They're like, "What did you do?" Well, like, because everybody stopped caring or being concerned. So just be like, I see Mr. Rivenberg out, not to blow you up, but he's always out and about walking around, and he sees things and he tells me things, and I love hearing that because he's always out and he's paying attention. In addition to getting some exercise in, he's noting what's going on in the neighborhood. He's a great neighbor and a good resident of Wayside. So go out for a walk, take notes, meet your neighbors, and the neighborhood watch is great. It's a good way to get communication. And now with technology, you can do group chats on various apps. If you don't want to be bothered, just check in periodically, see what the neighbors are doing, what's going on. But don't use that group chat as a form of reporting something as it's occurring. Report it to us and then get the information out first.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I live not far from the intersection of Larchwood and South Lincoln.
Mhm.
And we have a lot of rentals in the winter, a lot of college kids. And it's not uncommon for 11, 12 o'clock on a Saturday night for there to be a lot of fireworks. And I'm always like, do I call, do I not call?
Yeah.
Years earlier, I did call, and they found a girl unconscious that drank too much on the street, on the front of the house. So the question is, what do I do now? Do I
Same
still
thing.
call?
If you're hearing it and it's bothering you and it just takes 2 seconds to make that call, there's a noise complaint, you can call in anything anonymous. Anything that you call to us is going to have a police response. So if it's bothering you, it's probably bothering somebody else. And that's the thing, people don't want to call, but the fireworks could be the first thing they're starting with, then it's that. So yes, I would say, like I said before, report everything to
Well, the
us.
night I had called, it was a long-term thing.
Yeah,
And
I
it
would
just-
say report everything.
But
you
now
know?
it's like the one-off and I kind of ignore it.
Well, we're coming into the summer months now, so there's more people outside, so there'll probably be more of those complaints. But yes, I would say report everything that you can,
Okay.
you know, because we don't want that happening. People trying to sleep or somebody gets hurt with the fireworks. You know, there's a million different things that could happen. So that would be something, yes, call it, report it, let the officers deal with it, and move on.
Thank you.
Just to wrap up, we're going to use the phrase from Homeland Security. If you see something, say something. Contact us to report any suspicious or criminal activity. Again, do not approach anybody. Contact us. Let us do our jobs, all right? What we would ask of you is to be the best witness possible. Get those good descriptions. Get the good information to us as fast as you can, all right? So we can better do our jobs, all right? And be vigilant in your neighborhood. Go for those walks. Take note of what cars belong where and who belongs where, all right? Talk to your neighbors and know what's normal for your area, all right? And again, it's all about removing the opportunity for these criminals to commit these acts. All right, so at that point, does anybody have any questions for Detective Legerai?
If you go away on a trip, should we call you and let you know that we're away?
So that is a program that we do have. We do have house checks. You could come contact our dispatch center and they will provide you with a form that you could fill out and you'd put the details of the trip, emergency contact and such, and house checks do get performed by our department.
Yeah, we'll check your house twice a week while you're away. If you're away for a week, we check it twice a week. Physically get out and check the house.
Yep.
So those, you can stop in our dispatch, they'll give you the form that's, you know, just some
I have a
information.
question for you.
Okay.
Who would I contact to put sensor lights in around my home? You must have somebody that you recommend.
I don't have anybody that I could
So
recommend.
if anybody has anyone that they used, we used to have one in the garage. And what happened when I came home from work at night, it brought in clothing moths. This is a true story. And it went in and invaded my clothes. So we disconnected that one, and the front one is just an outside light, but I'd like the sensor lights.
The best thing to do is to contact your electrician if you have one.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
I'll give
that's
you-
your
That's-
best
that's
person to put the
electrician.
sensor lights in.
I got one.
Good, thank you. And I'm not worried about them getting in the garage, because if they go in through my garage, they're gonna find 8 totes of Tupperware. So there's not an issue.
All right. Yes, sir.
I just restarted the burglar alarm I had in the house from the prior occupant.
Okay.
Do I still have, do I have to notify the police and fill out that form for, bad call or,
Yeah, you still.
$25?
Yes, I believe you still have to.
Yes, yeah,
register to the town.
I think if you go on the website, there's information to register your alarm system with us, just so that we have contact information, emergency contact information, stuff like that. There is a nominal fee per year.
You have to do that if you have it's linked to a central station, you still have to do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's being done better with all these
I
cars
just
that
had-
drive around with all the windows
Um,
tinted that you can't even see
I
the
know
vehicle?
from plates.
Is that legal?
Well, the rules on that have changed recently. New Jersey used to require no tint on the front windows, they've lessened that to where the number has to be, I don't know what the specific number is, but the officer just has to be able to see in the car. So it's even not even clear cut to say,
Because when you come up to a lake, and you see some of these cars parked next to you on 35 and you can't even see into the window. You don't know who's,
correct,
driving the vehicle.
absolutely, yeah. And people think it's cool and it looks cool, but until you have tinted windows on your car, it's not easy to drive with tinted windows at night.
Well, I would fear for police officers approaching a vehicle
Correct.
like that too.
Yep, and the
It
license
just
plate
happened
thing,
up in New York.
I believe the license plate thing might be changing, that they're not gonna require, 2 plates, which I don't like that, because if the car's coming at you, you're not gonna see the plate. But even a lot of times with these instances, the car stealer, they're in stolen cars when they're stealing, so you might even get the plate and be happy, hey, I got the plate, here's a picture of it, now we run it, it comes back stolen out of like Fairhaven or something.
Because I know that they don't inspect very much when you go to motor
Yeah,
vehicles.
they've lessened a lot of the laws that they have with the dealing and stuff.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
It said not to keep your registration and insurance in your car.
Did it say that?
No, I said keep a copy.
Oh,
Yeah, keep a copy. Yep,
oh.
make a copy. You need that in your car.
You said keep the original in the car and a copy in the house.
Just so you can have easy access.
That's what you
Sometimes
just
when
told
people
me.
have their car stolen, they ask, okay, what's the license plate of the car? And they look at us like, I don't know. So it's just easy, you can pull it out and you can get working on it.
Do we have any other questions for the detectives? Because the longer they stay in here, the less they can protect us out on the street. So, if there's any more questions for the detectives, they're here right now. If not, the chief and I, we're here as well to answer any other questions.
All right, thank you,
Great.
guys.
Thank you, detectives.
We're all in this together. That's what we ask. We're happy you're here so you can learn these things and we can all do our best to do with this, but we're all in this together. If you ever have any questions, like I said, I live in town. I care about this town, this department, and what goes on here, so I'd be more than willing to give you whatever information you need, as opposed to also the chief and Zach. We're here for you guys and girls, so whatever you need, call us and we'll do whatever we can for you. Go ahead.
You're the guy that gave me my gun permit.
I've given out a lot. Well, he's the guy. I just can't tell.
Are you Detective Black?
No, I'm the second.
He does your background, I approve it, and say whether you get it or not.
Well, what's the story on that? Like, do I have to put up a no trespassing sign? And somebody said that.
What's that?
if
I'm not
somebody
following
comes
the
in house, I
connection
have
to the-
You mean the fact that you have a gun?
I have a gun.
No, I mean, is that the question that you need to put that on?
I'm wondering, like if it's a home invasion, like I'm seeing, in Wall, and, we're pretty close to, I live right here at the Manor at Wayside. And, what if somebody comes into, my house?
Well, you can defend yourself and your family from a violent attack, but you can't just shoot somebody for stealing your car.
Even if they're like in my garage?
Even if they're in your garage, correct. You will go to jail. I will promise you that. The prosecutor will charge you. You have to be the victim of a violent crime to protect. We're not here to debate that tonight. That's a whole separate issue. All right? You defend yourself and your family from violence. That's your Second Amendment right. But you cannot shoot somebody for a property crime.
And these things, when these happen, it's quick. So if they're tiptoeing in your garage and that door opens, they're going to be gone.
Yeah, but what if they, see,
But we're getting off topic. So hold on. Let them go back to work, and I'll address your issues.
So the chief. Thank you, detectives. The chief is going to go over some statistics so that people fully understand in the room and out there, what's been going on throughout the state of New Jersey, the county of Monmouth, and the township of Ocean. That it's literally not just an Ocean Township thing that's going on right now. This is statewide. Okay, we have a lot of issues that are going on that, obviously our legislators are working on to fix some of the really bad legislation that's out there. So Chief Sorrentino is going to go over some statistics so that everybody in the room understands what's been going on. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. That was a lot of information. We'll give it to you in email form, and we can distribute it. I know it was a lot to absorb in 30 minutes. So, like I said before, I was born and raised in Ocean Township. My whole family is here in town, mostly in the Wayside section. So, like Detective Legg, we're all in it together. Highlights: lock your car, take your keys, take all valuables. Don't leave your purse sitting in the car. Lock your doors and your windows to your house. Set your alarm. Close your garage doors. Lock the door between the garage and your interior of your house. Most people don't do that, so that's also something to keep them from going into. They want to go into your garage to see your car, into your house to get the keys. Set your alarm. Complacency brings them back to your neighborhood. So if you have a neighbor who is complacent, they leave their keys. We had a gentleman who once last year and again recently had his car stolen from his driveway because he left the keys in the car. So that brings them back to the neighborhood because they're easy targets. Some stats real quick. I pulled some recent years of statistics for just residential burglaries. Keep in mind we have 10,000 homes, ballpark, and about 5,000 apartments in Ocean Township. That's 15,000 homes. The highest year was in 2013. We had 87 burglaries. That seems like a lot, maybe not. But in recent years, last year in 2023, we had 28. So we cut that number in by a
Chief,
third.
you're doing a great job.
Thank you. And in 2024 so far, it's not me. I'm not the one out on the street. It's all of our officers. It's all of your officers. So far this year for 2024, we've had 6. I know everything on social media, it sounds like there's pirates invading Ocean Township. That is not the case. We've had 6, so we're on par for approximately 24 for the year if the numbers stay the same. So just to put it in perspective, that's where we're at so far. It's gotten a lot of attention, and recently Sheriff Sean Golden from Monmouth County Sheriff's Department did a press conference on News 12. There was an APP article recently. It's not just a Wayside problem or an Ocean Township problem, a Monmouth County problem, or a New Jersey problem. It's all across the country. I was on vacation in Florida and South Carolina, and you hear the sheriffs on the radio doing a public safety announcement. Please lock your car. Don't leave the keys in. It's important. So it's all over the country. Several years ago, some laws changed, bail reform laws. You'll hear about that. You'll read about that. We're working with our legislators to undo some of the laws that went into place. Some components of it are not ideal for retaining a criminal in jail. We're trying to change that. Senator Gopal could not make it tonight. He did a press conference here in this room last year with Senate President Scutari trying to promote changes to the law. So we are working on that. And Assemblywoman Peter Paul was supposed to be here tonight. She had a last-minute conflict and could not. She is a former prosecutor and municipal court judge. I've met with her personally, along with Assemblywoman Donlin, who is a resident of the township. We've had several meetings. They are all on board, and they are in full support. So we have the legislators on board to change what we need to change. It just takes time. But what we're doing in the meantime, number one, the social media stuff that goes out, just because it's on Facebook doesn't mean it's true. So it creates a lot of hysteria. We fielded a lot of phone calls. We've had different groups contact us through myself, detectives, counsel, which is why we're here tonight, to try and get one message out to everyone. and let it be consistent. What are we doing? We've increased patrols, marked and unmarked. So a lot of times, actually, we have detectives, officers, plainclothes, in regular cars driving the neighborhoods. And sometimes people actually call and say, hey, there's this car, it's gone around the neighborhood 3 times. And they'll put it out, and then somebody will pipe up on the radio and say, hey, that's me. So, but that's good. But when you see it, see something, say something, it's still up there, do it. A lot of times, we're taking a report for burglary, and the guy down the street goes, yeah, I saw this car parked here. Yeah, when? 2 days ago. That doesn't help us. So I would rather have officers go to the scene and find out that it's nothing than 6 hours later find out that we did have a crime. So we've worked tirelessly with surrounding towns. Like I said, it's not just an Ocean Township problem. Deal, Long Branch, Eatontown, Tinton Falls, Neptune, Asbury, western Monmouth County towns. Sheriff's Department has been very helpful with extra manpower. We also work very closely with the Auto Theft Task Force from the New Jersey State Police. There are what they call ALPRs, automatic license plate readers. They are all over the state and all over the county. And like the detective said, they come down in stolen cars, coming down to steal more. When those stolen cars hit one of these cameras, it sends an alert. We start going to that area, and our goal is to catch them, but to prevent the crime. I would rather chase them away than have somebody be a victim of a crime. We also work with the FBI, NYPD. A lot of these cars go over the border, and recently we've attended meetings with Customs and Border Patrol at the port because these cars are getting loaded into containers and shipped out of the country. So we're trying to quell a lot of those exports. But for everyone here tonight, all right, the goal is to make you feel comfortable and safe in your homes. My family lives in this town. If they're not comfortable, I have a problem. Everybody goes home and sleeps at night. We're here to quell the hysteria. You feel safe in your home. Be diligent. Be vigilant. All right, we can't do this without you, and you can't do it without us. So we will work together, and we will make it better. But those stats that I gave you, that's to calm the hysteria. We've cut our numbers by a third over the years, and we're out there 24/7, 365. So we're out there in full force. Yes, sir.
Chief, quick question. The stats were for house burglaries?
Residential
That's not
burglaries.
cars, so what's
Yep.
the car stats?
It's a separate number because sometimes we did have some crews that were just breaking into cars because everybody left their valuables visible in their car. So that's a separate statute. Actual car thefts, probably the last couple years, we range from 30 to 40. But we're significantly lower than that now because of all the attention it's got. So, unfortunately, the sequence of events where people go from leaving their keys in their car and getting their car stolen, which created a problem. Now they're locking their cars, but now they're breaking into the houses to steal that. So it's kind of trended into something different. But again, until it's zero, which of course it will never be zero anywhere, we're going to do the best we can to curb the problem.
On the mayor and council side, just so everybody in this room fully understands, we don't run the day-to-day operations of the police department. What we do is we support the police department. We have made sure that this police department has been fully funded. We just voted on a contract, a 5-year contract for all of our police officers. We've brought the starting salaries up so that we're bringing in more competitive police officers for the chief. I can assure you that there has been no defunding of the police in this town. And I can assure you that the chief has brought his department up to, I believe, where we should be in numbers. We might be one down.
Yeah, we've had a couple of retirements and stuff like that, but that's standard.
But through his attrition, obviously he's losing some, but the replacements that he's getting in are qualified. And more than likely the men and women that come into this department, they stay with this department because they know this is such a desirable town to not only live in, but it's a really, really good town to work in. And as time goes on, I can just see the chief, he's improving this department. And we as a council need to make sure that we support our police. I cannot stress to you enough that we are totally behind this police department, as is Senator Gopal and Assemblywomen Peter, Paul, and Donlin. We're all here for each other. Are there any other questions while we're out here? Yes, sir.
Chief, sorry to put you on the spot here, but as a community, there are obviously actionable things we can do as individuals to prevent and deter, these criminals from coming into our community. Are there things we can do as residents to advocate legislatively, not just locally, but also at the state level, to help you as a police force do your job and help everyone feel more safe in their homes?
Jenny, you're about to get flooded with emails and phone calls tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, we've, like I said, with Senator Gopal, we had that press conference last year, and we've been trying to change some of the components of the laws that are associated with bail reform, or actually the press conference we had was about auto theft and burglaries, trying to so the concept behind bail reform is a non-violent offender isn't the assumption of incarceration. So you have a property crime, which you cannot shoot a person for, but you have a property crime that there isn't an actual victim of violence, and however, I have not been the victim of a burglary, fortunately. But I have seen what it does to people, and it's very intrusive to their life, and it makes them feel not safe in their home. So in the respect of it's not a violent crime, I would disagree with that. You may not have somebody, bludgeoned on the floor, but you have a lot of after effects to that. And I know some of you in the room have been a victim of a burglary. And we do the best we can to calm that fear, but that will exist. Reaching out through your, assembly legislators, the more force behind the wave, the better. So, I would encourage those.
Do you feel like you have an adequate number of officers to?
Yes, our manpower is been consistent. Our call volume has been consistent. Our crime rate has actually gone down. One of our main issues, as is traffic. If you drive around town, especially in the summertime, it gets very busy. We do field a lot of those complaints, but that's volume, and that's a whole separate issue. But as far as the officers on the street and doing the job, yes, we are good. We are fully funded. We are fully supported by the mayor and council.
Can I just make a comment?
Sure.
I visit my daughter a lot. She lives in San Francisco.
Okay.
And I've been in this town since 1965. And I am so comfortable and so thankful and appreciative for you guys. And it just feels like home.
Thank you. That means a lot.
You go there and it's like a third world country at times. Seriously, you walk into Target.
A lot of
you walk in, I'm sorry.
a lot of areas have unfortunately,
You walk
become
into
that.
Target and there's 2 armed policemen and a security person, and I always thank them for being there, and it's just crazy. It's just nuts. When you want something like detergent, you have to call a team member, and then they have to come out and get it for you. And at the pharmacy, if you need cough medicine, they go, we'll meet you at register 2 in 2 minutes. I mean, it's a very different experience. So we're very thankful for what you do.
Thank
We
you.
will do everything to make it continue to feel like home.
Yes.
Just a question, like, recently in Edison, people were shopping and they came in and grabbed the person out of the car. So, like, for us, if we have these high-end cars, we're coming into our garage, should we be on the lookout that if somebody's following us?
Yes, of course.
And then, make sure the garage door goes down before we get out of the car.
You should always scan around when you get out.
Just
I
a-
always scan every time I get out.
Like when you always teach your kids, and when you were younger, you look under the car, you walk around the car. The concept and the principles have not changed.
Okay.
So yes,
So can you
being aware of
put
your
that-
surroundings.
Those rules on the website, could you also put it for that when you're coming in, a car's following you, make sure you don't get out of the car, because I told my
No,
kids.
don't go home.
Yeah, don't go home.
Drive here.
Right.
There's a lot of times people call and say, I think somebody's following me, and they pull into the parking lot, and we will meet them out front.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, two quick things. To the lady's point, it's because we have a nice now town with low crime is why they pick us, right? That's because everybody here feels very comfortable and they know that people here are gonna leave their cars open. So that's,
Well, yeah,
it's
it's
a great
the
thing.
opportunity. There's a lot of higher end cars and money.
That's the first. The second thing is,
Right.
look, we had a group chat and people were proposing having security, like paying for security to patrol it. What's your take on that? What's your
Like a private security company, we can't stop that.
No, I realize that.
But a lot of times those folks, we did have that in some areas over the summertime. We had some neighborhoods that were predominantly Jewish community, summer residents, and they felt unsafe. They hired a private security, and they patrolled. Again, they can't be everywhere all the time either. So unless you're paying for them to sit in your driveway, specifically, but we have seen some companies patrolling the neighborhood. They have, a car with some sort of security label on it, stuff like that. They have done that in some areas, some neighborhoods. Some residents have band together to do that. It's usually short-lived because
I mean, the problem is, right, I remember, I think everybody who's lived here for a while, this thing with the car, it comes in waves, but it's been going on for years, right? So even if you hire somebody and it stops 6 months from now, you hear as groups from Brooklyn or from Newark or from wherever it is, but it's happened, every 6 months or so, another wave comes in.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's and a lot of time it picks up in the summertime because we have an influx of people and cars, and we had those couple in Wayside, which prompted this meeting today, and we've been flooding Wayside at night, and we haven't, knock on wood, we haven't had any, but that doesn't mean.
We've seen the cars, by the way, so thank you for that. Feels great when you see those cars.
Good.
I think the good idea was just know your neighbors. I think that's, private security, like you said, yeah, it's fine for a while. It might give you a false sense, but, Rosina, she got the neighbors together and started, getting each other's cell phone numbers and stuff like that. So if you're aware of your neighbor and if something doesn't look right, that's when you should
The
react.
primary rules of safety and security haven't changed over the years. You look out for your neighbors.
Right. I think that's one of the best.
Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question too, because you're saying you ride around neighborhoods and whatever, and there's a couple of 55-plus communities, and I don't think I've seen you actually came when something happened very quickly, but I haven't actually seen you guys riding around. And
Well, do you stare out your window 24 hours a day?
What?
Do you stare out the window 24 hours a day?
Well, maybe not.
All of our patrol cars are
Unmarked, is that?
no, most of them are marked, but all of our cars are tagged with GPS, just so we know where the officer is at. And if, once in a while we do get a burglary, and I'll say, did any police cars patrol that neighborhood last night? And we were able to see their little breadcrumb trail.
I think there's a thing where we live though, in Rolling Meadows, like, is it private or something? They told us that you're not allowed to come in there.
No.
I don't know who told you that, but we are very familiar with your neighborhood.
Just driving around? Really?
Cedar Village as well, Toll Brothers, all the 55 and over communities they get in and out of.
So we are there. Trust me.
Any other questions?
I just want to say that you called it a trend before, that people were locking, leaving their cars unlocked, and then they started locking them, and now they're, I would call it an escalation, and I'm personally very concerned about the escalation.
Well, the numbers are actually, the crime numbers are actually going down.
Where do we go?
What's escalating is your anxiety and fear of it. And that's why we're here tonight, is to calm the fear. That's, it's on social media, it's constantly, you're constantly reminded of it. You constantly see it.
And then there's some stories that go a little off the tracks too. I get them, Mike gets them, the other council members get them. Like Mike said in the beginning, it's just because it's on social media doesn't mean it's true.
The numbers have gone down.
And I said in the beginning too, Zoe, I mean, I've got the utmost respect for this police department. They have got our support 100%. And believe me, Mike would tell us if he didn't have enough people patrolling, if the department was down people. He has told us that in the past. When I first got on council, he was down, they were down, you know, men and women at one point. And he's gotten to the point where he's brought it up to where we need to be. And that includes their contracts and stuff. So we'll do whatever we can. But like I said, we don't run the day-to-day operations. That's Mike's job. And none of us will ever get in his way to do that. We pass on the messages to Mike. Occasionally we do see the other police officers and we chat with them. But for we go directly through Mike. Okay?
I think your point is, it used to be they just stole cars, now they're actually trying to get into the houses. That's new, right? That's the escalation.
And then what?
So it does seem like they're moving to another level because they're less, low-hanging fruit.
And you got to remember also, we are an extremely desirable community right now. I mean, our property values, since the time that I got on council in 2017, we've doubled in what we are. I mean, this community's worth a lot of money. And that includes the residents that live here, our property values, and of course, with that comes more expensive cars. So, we kind of, in essence, have made ourselves targets because of that. But if we follow these tips and we follow this, as best as we can. I'm guilty of not following all this. Michelle yells at me all the time.
I've yelled at you too for not setting your alarm. That's the basic. Lock your door, lock everything, and set
they're
your
right.
alarm.
And I'll tell you, it's the gun thing. I'm going to throw this out here. I mean, I got a gun, and my wife wasn't overly pleased that I got one. And I don't keep it out. It's in a spot where I have it, where I know how to get to it. And God forbid something happens like you, I wouldn't go and shoot anybody. But you have to remember, we have 5 kids. You don't know which one of those kids are coming in the house either. So you have to really be cognizant of who's entering that house. We have they come in and their friends come in, and God forbid something happens, like Mike said. And it's a nonviolent thing, and you pull that gun out and something happens, there is going to be a bigger issue than just having that person come into your house.
Well, I live in the Manor at Wayside. It's townhouses, like pretty close to 18 on top of the road there. And I've been there since '89. I've been in Ocean Township since '79. And the doors, first of all, you can just almost kick them in, even though they have a deadbolt. But the window, there's windows right next to them, like windows by the door. You could just smash the window and open the door. So, if somebody's coming in, I'm shooting a warning shot.
You're going to jail.
Just for
The Monmouth County prosecutor will charge you. We had this press conference, we had a meeting over.
We had a meeting in March.
Same scenario.
Same thing.
You're going to get charged.
Same thing, and the prosecutor went over this.
What if you put up a no trespassing sign?
I have a no, don't rob me sign either. They're going to come in.
We can debate scenarios all day long. I would urge you to go to a local gun range and take a use of force class and get the information from that.
I do. I go to a weed shoot down Lakewood.
Okay. That would be my suggestion. They will lay it out.
Hold on.
I think there was one suggestion you made, Chief, to me, was if you have cameras in your house, you could connect them to a monitoring station that they can monitor your house from whatever time, let's say midnight to 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And if they see something suspicious, they will call the cops or you. So I think that's
there
a
are
great
some
point.
alarm companies that do live monitoring.
So I think that's a great idea, that they know if they
I
have
don't
it.
know the cost.
Yeah, I don't know the cost.
Yes.
Are most of these burglaries, are the people getting caught, and also are they usually armed?
We have not come across armed individuals, other than somebody with a crowbar trying to, jimmy the window. The arrest rate is unfortunately pretty low, because they're usually, if the alarm goes off or they're confronted, they usually flee the area, and before we get there. But I would rather them take off than actually, succeed in the crime.
Okay, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Again, we're here for you.